Okay, go ahead. Okay, sure.
Hi, Elon. My name is Ashley, and I'm from Lancaster County. And I have a 7-year-old son named Daniel, and he made me promise that if I got to talk to you, I had to tell you that he thinks that the Cybertruck is the coolest thing that has ever been invented. So he owes me one now for telling you that. But my question centers around higher education. So I'm going to age myself a little bit, but 20 years ago when I graduated high school, I made the decision not to go to college and just to enter in the workforce. And it worked really well for me, but I did get a lot of slack from people that thought that that was kind of crazy. And now I've seen, the attitude toward higher education kind of changing and that not being the only model that we have. So my question's sort of twofold here. So when it comes to my children who, will eventually be needing to make that decision, what decision or what advice would you give in comparison to a trade school, higher education, or just entering the workforce? And from an employer standpoint, in 10 to 15 years, what do you think employers are going to be looking for from this next generation that will be entering the workforce?
Sure. Well, I do think that probably too often people do a university or college thing for 4 years, and it's unnecessary. And then they accrue a lot of debt. And it's hard to pay off the debt, and they often don't learn skills that are very useful. So it's not, I think we should really reconsider whether going to college actually makes sense. I think it doesn't always. So, I think, and people also forget, what's the point of going to school in general? You're supposed to learn useful things. It's you improve your understanding of the world and learn skills that can help you contribute to your fellow human beings. But very often, a university does the opposite, in fact. It will propagandize kids and not teach them anything useful, and just saddle them with a lot of debt. So I think, what really matters is, are you doing something useful to help your fellow human beings? Are you contributing more than you take? And if you are, that's a great thing. So now we are headed into a pretty wild future here with artificial intelligence and robotics. I think, especially if you look, say, 10 years from now or more, that we're going to have the world is going to look very different. I think it's 80% likely to be good, the glass is 80% full, and most likely we'll probably have a situation which is universal high income, actually, not universal basic income, but universal high income, and there will be no shortage of goods and services. That is what I think is most likely to occur. And we need to make sure that this AI is and these robots are on the side of humanity, obviously. James Cameron made a couple movies about that. You got to watch what you program these robots to do. The example I've used a few times is, when Google Gemini came out, people asked, well, which one's worse, misgendering Caitlyn Jenner or global thermonuclear war? And it said, well, misgendering Caitlyn Jenner is worse. It's we've got a problem with this AI. and even Caitlyn Jenner said, yeah, you should definitely misgender me. That's crazy. That we don't want to have an AI that concludes that the best way to avoid misgendering is to execute all humans, therefore reducing the probability of misgendering to zero because there are no humans. That's the kind of crazy stuff that could potentially happen that we want to avoid, which is why I think we want to have a maximum truth-seeking AI. It's got to be kind of based in a good way, and just be an honest and truthful and forthright AI. That's the best path to safety for artificial intelligence. So.